Today I'm going to show you a model that will help you achieve any goal you want to achieve. It is one model, in fact, it is this triangle right here. Anything you've ever wanted to do and failed at, I guarantee you, it's because one of these 3 points of the triangle was missing. So whether it's that you want to get in shape and you've signed up for the gym, but you're still skinny fat, or whether you want to build a business that gives you financial freedom and you're working all day, but you're still broke, or whether you want a good social life or find your dream partner, but all you do is swipe through Tinder all day and you're still lonely, this model will help you fix that problem and achieve your goal. In this video, we'll look at what the 3 points of this triangle are. I'm going to explain to you how this works, and I'm going to show you how you can use this model to prevent screwing up in the way that most people do. So to get started and to explain what the 3 points on this triangle are, let's use fitness as an example, simply because it's an easy explanation. But even if you're not interested in building a better physique, stick around, because as you'll see, this exact same thing applies to any other goal as well. So think about getting in shape. You want to get in better shape. Basically, we all know you have to exercise. But here are the 3 things that must be in place for your exercise to actually lead to the result you want. So point number 1 on the triangle. This stands for strategic. So the question is, are you following a good strategy? When it comes to exercise and getting in shape, this is about having a workout plan. Are you following a good plan that will actually help you get to the results you want? Because obviously, you can be exercising, you could go to the gym, just like randomly lift some weights. You don't even know what you're doing, right? You're using poor form, you're just moving around a little bit. That's never gonna make you very fit, is it? So that's why the first thing we need is a strategy. But that is not enough, because even the best workout plan in the world is not going to help you reach your fitness goals unless you have the other 2 points as well. The second point on the triangle, this S stands for sufficient. You have to do enough of whatever you're doing. Your efforts have to be sufficient. In our workout example, this comes down to the volume and intensity of work that you're doing when you're exercising. Again, even if you have a great plan, if you go and do the exercises with like the tiniest weight you can find, clearly, even if you're doing the exercises with perfect form and you're following the plan theoretically, it's just not enough. You're not doing enough work to get to the results you want. So if you have a clear strategy and your efforts are sufficient, that gets you closer to your goal, but it is still not enough unless you also have the 3rd point on the triangle, which is consistent. So the question here is, are you doing what you're doing consistently? With the exercise example, let's be honest, we've all done this. You sign up for a gym, you're all excited, you have a good workout plan, you go to the gym, you work hard. And for the first week, you go every day, you're crushing it. But then you're kind of sore, something else gets in the way, you feel too busy, and you don't go to the gym for a week. You don't go to the gym for 2 weeks. Then you go, oh, I gotta get back on. And you go again. You work hard for a few days, then you fall off again. And this constant on and off, this lack of consistency, what does it lead to? Well, not the results you wanted. So this is the triangle of implementation. This is what you need to reach any goal. Your efforts have to be strategic, sufficient, and consistent. Otherwise, you will stay stuck. So any one of these 3 points missing means that you will fail to reach your goal. Now, like I said, this same principle applies to any other goal you want to achieve. Here's another example that I'm very familiar with from my own work, entrepreneurship. You have someone who's building a business and you come up with some marketing plan, right? You need to get the word out for your business. How do you do that? Let's say you've decided to do some content marketing. You're going to create content to put the word out. The same thing applies. Your content marketing needs to be strategic, sufficient, and consistent. Otherwise, it will not work. So obviously you need a strategy, right? You can't just be randomly posting content every once in a while, just like hoping for the best. You have to have a strategy that goes, okay, this is our target audience. Here's the kind of content we're going to create that appeals to them. Here's the questions we're going to answer for them. And that's how it leads back to my business, right? That's the strategy part. Then it has to be sufficient. Okay, you can create content, but like, you know, if you publish 2 tweets and 1 200-word blog post once a year, that's probably not going to lead anywhere. So in other words, you have to create enough content of high enough quality, otherwise you will have no impact. So the equivalent here in the gym of volume and intensity is quality and amount of content that you publish. And then finally, it also has to be consistent. Because even if you create a great content piece and you publish it and it is aligned with your target market and everything, but then you just don't publish anything for 3 months and then you create another thing and then it's radio silence again and so on, well, that's not going to lead anywhere. Now, let me show you a real world example of this in action from when I started my software business, Thrive Themes. I want to show you this because it's important to not take this too far either. Let's take a look at the Thrive Themes YouTube channel. If we go to the videos here and we sort them by oldest, we can see back in the day, this is when I was the marketing team for Thrive Themes. I was doing all the marketing work. And if we look through this, we can see here there's loads of videos that say 6 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, right? If I keep scrolling, there's loads of these. So you can see that during this time, when I was starting this business, I was publishing one YouTube video every week at least. And this was a key part of the marketing strategy. This was the content marketing I was doing. And let's see how the triangle of implementation applies to what I was doing here. So the first two factors are easy to tell. Like I said, if we just scroll through and see how many of these videos were published in 1 year, you can see that, well, this is sufficient. I published lots of videos. Many of these are longer, in-depth videos, high quality videos. And it's consistent. I was, like I said, doing at least one video per week. So those are the two components, sufficient and consistent. The strategic component is in the kind of content we were publishing. So I know who my target audience is. I know that these are people, for example, who are doing email marketing on their website. And I knew that if I make tutorials about things like how to send the download links to something someone signed up for to your new email subscribers, like this video here, or I make content about new types of email opt-in forms like this one here, the kinds of people who would watch this video and learn something valuable from it would also be the kinds of people who are likely to want to buy the software we're selling. So that is the strategy part. I am making strategically targeted content. I'm making it weekly and I'm making lots of it. Now, one reason I'm showing you this is to also show you that this is not about perfection. You could look through these videos and you would see that some of these videos, they're not perfect, right? They're not the best video you've ever seen. Sometimes I was recording these videos while I was also traveling and I didn't have like the best setup. Sometimes I didn't have the greatest sound, because there's noisy in the background or whatever, but I just did it anyway. So if we look at the triangle of implementation, here's the important thing I want you to remember. Yes, you have to be strategic, sufficient, and consistent, but you don't have to be perfect on any of these dimensions. Was this marketing strategy in the early days of Thrive Themes the perfect strategy? Well, probably not. I'm sure some marketing genius could have come up with a better idea, but I'm not that marketing genius and this was good enough. And similarly, was it sufficient? Well, yes, it was sufficient, but I could have done more. Like theoretically, I could have done one video every single day and probably that would have brought in even more viewers and even more traffic. But it was enough to do 1 or 2 videos per week. And also with the consistency, was I perfectly consistent in my publishing? Well, almost. I didn't miss any weeks, but I didn't have a very strict schedule like every Wednesday and every Friday at the same time or anything like that. So I wasn't perfectly consistent, but I was consistent enough. Now, let's look at how you can actually use the triangle of implementation for any of your own goals and how to use it in order to prevent yourself from screwing up the way most people do. So how do you use it? What you can do is you can draw a literal triangle and use that to make a self-assessment. So you write down what your goal is, and then we draw a triangle with the 3 corners, strategic at the top, sufficient, and consistent. You can also draw a point in the middle of the triangle and a few notches that go out to each of the edges. This is essentially a radar map, and you can think of scoring yourself on each of the dimensions from 0, which would be at the center, to 5, which would be all the way out at the corner. So I have some goal, whether it's building my business, getting in shape, whatever, improving my social life, right? I have some goal and I ask myself, how strategic am I being about this goal? If it's like, actually, I don't really have a plan, I'm just kind of randomly doing stuff and hoping for the best, that would be a 0, and I put a point at the center. And if I have a perfectly thought out plan, then that would be a 5, I put the point at the corner. And usually it's going to be somewhere in between. So if I say, yeah, I have a pretty decent strategy, right? I have a pretty decent strategy, but not perfect. I'm going to give myself like a 4 out of 5 here. That's where I put the point. Then Sufficient, right? Am I doing enough? Am I doing high enough volume and intensity? Am I doing enough work? Am I putting in enough effort? Again, I rate myself, if I'm doing all I can, that's a 5. Maybe it's a little less here. I give myself a low score. I'm not doing as much as I could. And finally, am I doing it consistently? Am I consistently long-term sticking to this plan? If I'm doing things on and off here and there, that's a 0 or a 1. And if I'm just perfectly adhering to the plan, that would be a 5. So again, I give myself a score here. Now we connect these 3 points, and here's how this works. So with a radar map, you end up with this total surface area. And the larger this surface area is, the more likely you're going to reach your goal. And the smaller the surface area is, if you're looking at a small surface area, it's almost guaranteed that you will fail to reach your goal. So this can be a useful self-assessment because it tells you where you have to change your approach in order to succeed. And this is where lots of people screw up. Okay, how many people signed up to the gym 6 months ago and are telling themselves, oh, I'm still not in shape, I need a better workout plan? Or maybe you go and buy some workout plan online that promises you super quick results. It's like, no, you don't need a better workout plan. You need to be consistent, right? You need to follow a reasonably good plan consistently. So in other words, your map looks like this. The problem is not the strategy. The problem is you're not doing enough and you're not doing it consistently. So don't try to fix it with a better strategy. Or I've seen this loads of times with entrepreneurs, right? People are banging their heads against the wall. You're already working all hours of the day and you're not succeeding, and you think, I have to work harder. No, you don't have to work harder. You're already working too hard. You need a better plan. Stop working so hard on something that's clearly not working. So that is the triangle of implementation. So right now, think of a goal that you have and ask yourself, which of these 3 points are you falling short on? Where do you need to adjust the dial in order to increase your chances of success? And let me know what you find out by leaving a comment below. Also, if you have any questions about this, if you'd like me to do a deeper dive into a specific kind of goal or area of life on how to apply this, let me know and I'll be happy to make another video about this in the future. Also, if you're wondering why I'm calling it the triangle of implementation and why it's so important to become an implementer, check out this video next.